Yeah. Okay. Sorry, everyone that's watching this recording. And I, again, forgot to hit record at the beginning, but this is where we're at on box number 1. And we'll repeat a lot of the process as we go through.
Did you put dimensionals on? Oh, wait. Did you put dimensionals on the Happy Halloween?
Yes, 3 dimensionals. That's what they put on.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Mhm. So anyone who's joining us, I'm Brenda Miller, Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in New Jersey, and I have some people on our Zoom call here making one of each of the projects from the Paper Pumpkin Kit from September. And we like to do this together once a month so that we at least get one made so that I can make the mistakes and they can learn from my mistakes. All right, how are we doing? Everybody good? Okay, Lois, you good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, so all we're going to do now is fold in all of the creases, so away from what we just decorated, including the bottom one where we have the tear and tape. And then we're going to take our box and the spider web goes over the opening, right? We'll flip it over. And then you can remove the backing on your tear and tape. Hardest part about everything, right? Get that off. And you just fold it down. And voila, you have a little box. But see those little ovals? Look what they did. They made the little tabs on the side. Bet you didn't see that.
Oh, very clever.
So they
cool.
really did an amazing job, I think, with these little treat boxes. They really did. And they're easy enough that you can whip them all out and buy. You're going to need some big candy to go in there, you know, one of those little fun size, you know, Skittles or something, or several little nuggets or whatever makes sense. So that is box number 1. And the basics just get repeated on the other boxes. So we'll do it again for the recording viewing audience. So give me a
put
thumbs up.
stars on it, Brenda?
Oh, you're right. Thank you. See, I forget. I'm so busy hoarding them. Okay, so what they do on all the projects is they use 2 small and 1 big, but I think in the end, you're not going to have enough big and small. So yes, notice that you have 2 sheets of the little stars, and one sheet has big ones and 1 sheet has little ones. So I'm just going to show you where they recommend putting them. They recommend a little one for up in the top left. Oops. And they have little glue dots, so make sure you've got the glue dot. The easiest way to do that is to use your take your pick tool with the putty end. And then they put a big one underneath the Happy Halloween. So that goes there. And this would have definitely been easier if we did it before we folded it. And then a little one just up to the right of the big one. So yes, there are stars on all the boxes. And they're a little shiny.
Very cute.
Aren't they cute? I just love the little stars too.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. So give me a thumbs up when you're done with your first box. Okay. Hold mine a little like this so it doesn't look as crooked as it is. We don't have to tell anybody about that.
Hi.
Okay. Lynn, how are you doing?
I'm okay.
Okay, good. Okay, so let's go on to our next box, which is number 2. So let's do like we did before. We're going to take the black box base and we're going to fold in on all the creases, okay? Again, we don't have to go crazy and get out our scoring bone. I have one right here, but it's not necessary. Just giving it a little fold just to make it easier to work with. And I just fold them all
You're
in.
breaking up, Brenda.
I am. Okay, can I
Or is
ask
it
you?
me?
No. Ladies, can I ask you to go on mute? And that'll, because that is coming, the feedback's coming from you guys. All right. Is that better, Lois? Yeah. You could just shake.
Yeah, it was that you were coming in and out. I don't know whether that was you or me, so
Oh, okay. But I'm not anymore.
no.
Am I? Okay, good. Okay, thank you. Yeah, sometimes who knows what it is. Okay, so we've got them all folded in. And what we're going to do is we're going to take the two sides that have the ovals. We're going to pull it up. We're going to fold down the second one that makes the oval go in half and then push down so that the bottom tabs are part of the bottom of the box. Then we're going to take the shorter side that's left and do the same thing, fold it up with the tabs in this time, right? And then push it down. So then you have the bulk of your card base. I mean, sorry, the base of the box. And then the last side, same thing, fold the tabs in, fold up, and then push in, and it just finishes out that box perfectly. No effort whatsoever. I just think it's incredible. So easy. Okay. Everybody got their box folded? All right, excellent. Okay, so let's move on to decorating. Now, this is a wild plaid, huh? The only time I would ever use this plaid is Halloween, but it is perfect for Halloween. So we're going to put our slanted edges to the right side, okay? So remember, again, we've got a big space, a big piece to the left of the first fold. Then we've got here a skinnier piece, then another larger piece this time. This is where the spider web was on the first one. Then there's a thin piece, and then we have that the part that has the angled edges, okay? And on the angled edges, we're going to take our tear and tape, and we're going now. I'm going to show you what I do. I just tear off a little piece. Because why do I have to use, really, what's going to happen to it, right? And you just have to make sure you're putting it close to the fold. And that'll keep it nice and secure. But you see how I only used a little piece? For me, I'm good with that. And then that makes my tear and tape last longer because I'm a tear and tape hoarder. So I love to be able to use it whenever I need something strong. So that's why I do that. Okay, and then once you have that, we're going to work on this center rectangle. And we're going to layer our pieces. So why don't we go ahead and stamp on the little white rectangle. And on this one, they used the stamp that says, enjoy this spooky treat. Okay, so enjoy this spooky treat. And they're doing it on that rectangle that we took out before. And here we go. Fits in there perfectly. We're just going to throw it together once we have it. Give everybody a chance to stamp. I can see heads are down. So the first thing we're going to put on is the spider web, and we're just going to use regular adhesive. And the only problem with this, it's hard to see where the score lines are. So I pick it up, I see the score lines on the back side, and then I kind of position my spider web so that it's not going off the edge, but it's in the top right corner of that That might be a little high, but still work. Our little ghost goes on here too. And he goes on with dimensionals. I'm just going to use 2. You can use as many or as few as you'd like.
Did the spider web go on with dimensionals, Brenda?
No.
I'm sorry.
No,
No,
it's
okay.
That I just put on with regular adhesive. And I was just showing you how the placement was. So again, you turn it over, you see where the score lines are, and then you're putting it in kind of the top right part of the front. So then we have the dimensionals on the back of our ghost. And then he goes to the right and to the left side of the spider web, but not going over the fold. That's how that looks. And once you have that, for the words, you're going to put just a dimensional or 2 on the back of the right side, okay? Because if you put it on the left side as well, it's going to stick up a little bit. So in order to keep it flat, I just put 1. I think they recommended 2, but I just put 1 on the back so that when you put it down, covering up a little bit of the ghost and a little bit, teeny bit of the spider web, but it's not, sticking up. It'll stay too because these dimensionals are very strong. Oops. Okay, so that's how that looks. And then we use we're going to do it in the right order this time. We'll put on our little stars. And again, they used 2 small and 1 big. So I'm just going to do what they did. They put 1 up here and then 2 little ones with another one kind of at the top and another little one at the bottom, just to make that visual triangle. Okay. And there's your cover. And once you're all set with that, we're going to do the same thing as we did before, which is just folding everything in on the score lines. If you can't see them, turn them over. So we just fold it on all the different score lines. Again, you can see the score lines on the inside. You take your box, put it over the top, flip it over, put the big piece down and hold it there while I'm sorry, that's not right. Take the angled piece down, put the angled piece down, blah. Then take off the cover for your tear and tape, and then just fold over and close it, and you've got another adorable box with the little holes so that you can pull it out. So stinking cute, really. As much as, it's fun to create and stamp and measure, it is so nice to come and do projects like this, I think, that are all colorful already, and you feel like you did something because you had to put all the pieces together. You get to do a couple little puzzles, and you're left with such a wonderful little treat box. Almost looks professional. So how's everybody doing? Are we ready to move on to the last one? Yeah. Okay, excellent. So the last box is a lot of the same stuff. So we're going to take, this time our base is white. So I like to fold, I think this doesn't look as nice. So I like to, even though they scored it like that, I like to fold away from where the score lines are. And we didn't talk about that before, but that is what we were doing. Actually not, but I think it looks better this way. So anyway, just taking all the folds, giving them a nice little, just get them loosened up, break those fibers so that you can put it together super easily. Okay. All right, so like we did before, We're going to take the sides that have the little oval cut out of them. We're going to
We
keep those.
need parent tape, Brenda?
No, not for this.
Oh, that's the other piece,
Yeah.
sorry.
That's okay. So that's the miracle of this, is that we don't need any tearing tape. So we're going to fold it up and leave the tabs out. Fold it up, over, and down. It's harder to see, but there's your little flaps on the bottom. And then when you take the short side, the edges left, you're going to tuck those little tabs in. Fold up, down, and in. So that's how you have your base. And then with the long piece, same thing, tuck in the tabs, pull up, and then just push it in. And there's even a tab that it locks in and makes a perfect little box. So now you're going to be pros at this. Now that you'll have done it 3 times, you'll be like whipping these out. You'll be like, well, why did I think that was so hard? Not at all. Okay, so then we're going to take the fresh freesia top. We're going to lay it down with the slanted edges to the right side. Take our tear and tape. Again, I'm just taking a small piece because that's how I roll. I'm putting it down near the fold line. And placing it just on my tabletop. Now this one, we're actually going to stamp 2 things, okay? First thing we're going to do is we're going to take our bats. So these little bats, find this little stamp. And there's 3 little bats, and we are going to stamp the bats right on to the base in the top corner and the bottom corner. Just like that. Of course, you can do as many as you want. This is what they recommend, and I think it looks very nice. So this is what you're going for.
I find the ink pads like very blotchy.
Is anybody else finding that with the little one? The little ink pad?
I have trouble with this, with the stamps every time I open them up.
Mhm.
It's like they have a coating on it,
Yes.
and the ink like gets
Equals.
little
Yeah.
dots instead of being solid.
Yes. Yeah. So the solution for that is to stamp it on your scratch paper a few times.
Okay,
Yeah, that's and it's just because of the photopolymer process. When they create them, there is a little bit of a film of something that it makes it sticky, but not too sticky, right? Because we need to be able to peel them off. And so, yes, there is a little bit on there, and you will find that, and even on our red rubber ones, the same thing can happen. Now, it doesn't always, but a lot of times it does. But that is the solution, is that you stamp it a few times and eventually it comes out okay. Beth, is that not solving your problem though?
Not especially, but I tend to have this problem using these little spots.
It might be the way that are you tapping the ink on, or are you rubbing it on to the stamp?
Tapping.
Sometimes if you give it a little bit of a twist, because they're linen pads as opposed to our usual pads, which are foam. So it could be that. So sometimes if you just like give it a little, tap, tap, and then a little twist, that'll make it smoother.
Okay.
Yep. No guarantees on that, but I will say that does sometimes help. Okay, so we have our bats, and then we're going to stamp one more thing, and that is on our beautiful little black and white circle. We're going to use, they use Trick or Treat. Okay. And I'm gonna just tap, tap, tap. And if it's crooked, it's okay. You'll just turn your circle, okay? Trick with that, right? Our trick or treat. And once you have that, super easy, we're going to take our little bat paper. Now, I do think that there's an up and a down on these little bats. I feel like the bigger bats, the little skinny pointy part should be pointing down. That's just me. What do you guys think? See how they're, yeah, right? I would think that because the other way just kind of looks funny to me. So that's just going to go right smack in the center with the square we're working with, like that. Yep, and I use regular adhesive for that. And then we're just going to use dimensionals on the back of our trick or treat. I just use 2. You could use, 3 or 4, whatever makes sense to you. I just use 2. I don't hoard dimensionals quite as much as I used to. Treat. And then the last thing is our little stars. You know, I'm probably moving too fast. Sorry. You ready for the stars? They used a little one here. And then they actually did it the other way. On this side. Their example actually put the stars on the other side. So whichever you want to do. Oops. All right, so once you have that, we're going to do the same thing that we did. Fold them all down. Fold down. Fold down. Fold down. Wrap it around your box. Turn it over. Side with the tear and tape goes down first. Peel off the backing for the tear and tape. And then close it up. Ta-da! I'm so excited. I've already got 6 made because I made, some before. Make sure I could do it properly. Wait a second. This is wrong. Ha. Here it is. So there's my nice little treat so far. Now, while you're finishing up, you've got lots of you've got 8 ghosts, you've got 8 spiders, we've got lots of the circles with the little edging on it, the scallop edge. So lots of stars. There's all kinds of things that you can do with it. So I just pulled up a half a dozen of cards that I saw other people had made, and I thought were really fun uses of what we had. So here's the first one. This is probably from Mary Fish. Somebody like that. So you see that I cut out the spider web, and you'll see, I think I did that a few times, but how quick and easy. This is just taking, I just cut up the outside, and you can make lots of these. And I did add my own basic black paper and a little bit of, this is smoky slate. So that's fun. The next one is just using, I didn't actually use strips of paper. This is actually a rectangle, but these were all scraps. So the rectangle, the crushed curry rectangle and the pumpkin pie one were scraps from my drawer. And then this is, I happen to have a bunch of white card bases. And so I just basically did this on here in different colors, right? That's all that is. Well, that makes a fun card. Super simple. Should have started with this one. It was just taking the, the outer side of, with this plaid. And what's interesting is I usually don't like to do this because there are score lines, but you cannot even see them because the plaid is so busy that you can't even tell. Like I can touch it. When I'm touching it, I can tell where the score, there you go. You can see it when you hold it like that. But when you're just looking at the card, you definitely don't see the score lines. So that makes it easy. All right. And then this somebody did, I just like the use of the different colors. And this is actually the little ghost stamp. So I probably would have made him with black eyes, if just like they did, to look more like this ghost. But I didn't have my black marker out. So I just decided not to. Like you could just color right over it too, if you wanted to. So, but again, it used a little spider web. I don't know. Fun color combination, I thought. Then this is just, again, strips of paper. I stamped the bats. Oh, and I put it on upside down, see? From what we just said before. But this is something I stamped myself. And this is from the black and white paper series that we have. That's the flip side of the Harlequin that we used for the witch's hat card when we made that last month. This is just some fresh freezer scraps. And again, just from the outside, I just cut some pieces. But then I used 3 because the card used 3 ghosts, and I had to stop because I was hoarding my ghosts. And I don't want to. I don't want to give up all my ghosts, right? So anyway, it does have 3 in case you find yourself. And then this last one is very much like this, right? Just again, adding some of that paper on the outside. You can't see the score lines. You don't even know that I did that. I just put it on a white card base. Okay, and this was just another scrap of paper. And just using the spider again the same way. So those were the 6 cards that I decided to make. But so that's really it. So, but just a lot of fun, right? And I'm looking forward to, personally, I'm probably going to make all the boxes because, they're fun to give out. I haven't decided what to put in. So if you have ideas of something fun to put in there, because it's kind of big, like I said, I haven't tried the little, I meant to stop at the store and pick up some, but that's always a dangerous thing. So, so I didn't.
It looks like a Dove bar would fit.
Oh my gosh, like a
Yes.
whole Dove bar. Like when I think of Dove bars, I think of the little,
Those little pieces. Yeah, I think
you
you
could
could
put a
fit
bunch
quite
of
a
those.
few of those. Yeah.
right? Because they're expensive too. Just saying.
Yeah.
I bought
Yeah.
them.
Well, maybe Hershey's Nuggets. They're
Yeah.
sort of the same size.
Yeah, they're kind of pricey too. Maybe the little, you could probably put several of the little miniatures, right? The Hershey miniatures. Yeah, we could do that.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think it's fun, and I love just giving it to like the clerk at the bank or the grocery store, or I love doing that kind of thing. I always love that. So anyway, so that's it. So next classes are a week from tomorrow and the day after. Confusing because it's the second Friday. It's the second Friday of the month is the 14th. Saturday is the 3rd Saturday, but it's the day following the second Friday. So yeah, you got that right. You all know what I'm talking about.
Right.
14th and 15th. That's when the classes are. And
Are you going to do Thanksgiving cards?
yes, let's do a Thanksgiving. You can tell I have not gotten there yet. I've got my fundraiser on Sunday, and then I'll start those cards.
Okay, no problem. Just ask.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. I will make sure that I do that. Yeah. So that's it for tonight. Thank you all
Thank you.
for joining me. I love
Thank
this.
you. This is
Yeah.
great.
All right.
Thank you. Good
Sure.
job.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, very
Awesome.
fun.
All right, everybody. See you soon.
Okay.
Take
Good
care.
night.
Bye.
Bye.